Lord Lieutenant, Ms Moira, Niven MBE, Councillor Ann Davidson, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you along to HolmesView Care Home here in the town of Broxburn, West Lothian, to this special event. Today we will place a commemorative stone that thanks the National Health Service staff from across the nation, all carers, all key workers and our armed forces. We will remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice trying to save lives across every community across Scotland, the United Kingdom and indeed across the world. We will also pause for a moment of reflection as we remember family and friends who lost their lives to COVID-19 or during the pandemic. We reflect on families who suffered, not able to give their loved ones the send-off that they deserved. We will think of young and old whose mental health suffered during COVID and people who are still suffering across the nation from the effects of long COVID. COVID has not gone away, but we are all trying our best to come together and support our family and friends and communities. The National Health Service today is under extreme pressure. COVID-19 has impacted people waiting on operations and crucial life-saving treatment. We hope and pray that finance and support is urgently given to the NHS. This must be a top priority for all political leaders and parties. Finally, as Secretary of ASA Forces Charity and on behalf of our members, can I thank the Managing Director, Peter McCormick, for allowing us to place this stone at HolmesView Care Home in Broxburn today. Now going to pass over to Councillor Ann Davidson to say a few words.
And just generally working hard to cover for their colleagues who are ill or isolated or unable to go to work. The Army, of course, also had to step up, in effect building field hospitals, driving ambulances, and again coming into contact with COVID on a daily basis. But for me, the care workers were the people who really stood out. On a personal level, as you know, my husband was a resident in here during the height of COVID. Nobody could have worked harder than the staff in there. They were absolutely tremendous. The respect that they showed everyone, the care that they showed everyone, the way they doubled up for their colleagues who weren't here, and also the way they looked after the relatives, keeping everybody up to date with what was happening, trying to let people know what was going on in the care home to keep their residents entertained. To me, they were just every bit as important as the NHS workers, and I'd like to thank you for that.
Now going to pass on to Peter McCormick, who's the Managing Director of Randolph Care Homes.
Thank you. I just want to say it's been a difficult 2 years for everyone in the UK and indeed the world. People have been separated, they've been ill, and unfortunately some, or indeed many, have died. Older people have been particularly at risk, including those in care homes. While many of people have had to endure risk themselves in order to keep everything moving, not least amongst those, the care home staff, who are already doing a difficult job in increasingly difficult circumstances. I would like to thank Tommy Davidson and the ASA Forces Charity for this kind donation, marking the loss of those who passed away, and the efforts of all those who work tirelessly to keep them safe. Finally, I just wanted to add, I think it's already been mentioned, that while the situation has improved recently, COVID has not yet gone away, and we all need to remain vigilant.
My name's Margaret Campbell. I was the manager at HolmesView for 10 years, and I was here and helped to look after Alex in his time here. It's a privilege to have been able to come here today, and thank you very much for the invite, and it's lovely to see you, and thank you very much for your kind words. It was a real privilege to look after Alex, so thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Moira, Niven Lord Lieutenant for West Lothian, and I would just like to say that we've lived through a very extraordinary time. Not every generation lives through a pandemic, and I think our generation, our community, have responded tremendously to this. And I agree with Anne, the staff in the care homes in West Lothian and beyond have done really a remarkable job. There was danger, but they walked towards it. They looked after people when other people couldn't care for the people that meant most to them. And I know carers also went round and about the individuals' homes to support them as well. And having just had 10 days of not feeling very well with COVID, Peter, I have to agree, we're not finished with this horrible disease yet. But I think the thing that marked us out was the way that we all responded. The government told us to stay at home and to keep each other safe, and the vast majority of people did that. But we had to rely on each other, and as a community, everybody came together. People phoned up the elderly to see if they need messages and dropped them off. And people looked out for their neighbours. Maybe some people even met their neighbours for the first time properly. So we've been through this hard time, and I hope in some ways we're an even stronger community than we were before. But we have had to rely on our health service, and they were magnificent. We've had to rely on the Army, the Navy and the Air Force setting up all the testing centres and the vaccination centres, and they were terrific as well. But I never forget the people that were in the supermarket that I used to trot along to daily. That was the most exciting thing I did most days, and they were terrific as well. They went to the work and they kept going. And I saw this little quote from Her Majesty's speech during lockdown, and she said, "Moments when the United Kingdom has come together to applaud its care and essential workers will be remembered as an expression of our national spirit, and its symbol will be the rainbows drawn by children." And I thought that just covered the national response really, really well. In fact, she gave a fantastic speech during lockdown, and it was heartfelt. So I'd like to thank the Entrée Song for marking this in the way that you are. I think it's important that we remember what has happened, what we've been through, and then we all take care as we go forward. So thank you very much for inviting me to come here today, and it's been lovely to meet you all. Thank you.
Okay, after just hearing the words of Her Majesty being quoted, I think we should just give a brief, not minute silence, I think a clap, as we did on the doorsteps, for the carers, the key workers and the armed forces, care home staff, everyone who pulled together in the darkest times. So a round of applause. Now going to ask Councillor Ann Davidson and Lord Lieutenant Ms Moira Niven to unveil. I will unpeg at the back for you because I don't want you falling into the garden.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Oh, that's excellent. Yeah. It must have been very difficult. looking after people that you knew were going to pass away and their family couldn't be there. But what a privilege for you to be there and to support these people. I mean, it's a very humane thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's fantastic. That's terrific. That's a real quality thing, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah. Have you all kept diaries from that terrible experience?
Oh,
eh?
no.
You have
I
like-
don't want to remember that.
You wouldn't have a moment, eh? Yeah.
It was.
But actually, when you think about it, our society responded really well. Generally, people were very supportive, weren't they?
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
were reaching out.
I did notice when neighbours came together.
They did, didn't they?
Even my neighbour, like, we spoke to him, he said, look, you need it, let me know.
Well, I had to move into the camp for a month. She's 96, so it was 2 years ago. The neighbours was great. But I think it was great too, the way that we came up with the vaccines. You know, they had to change the way they were doing things and bring them forward. And, I mean, having just felt ill with COVID recently, I'm very glad we had the vaccine. Yeah.
I think the vaccines was effective being with us. I was at work recently where we were all being monitored if we hadn't had the vaccine. It has had a huge effect. It's not a panacea, but it is a help,
Yeah.
massive help.
Never was it like
Yeah. It just depends a bit, you know, you had peaks and troughs of people being ill.
That I heard of once in a love.
And of course, there are all these investigations.
Melt like lemon drops, away above that chimney top.